Tonight, the Nolan Wells investigation into the death of a shining star, Nolan Wells, has an altercation witness emerged. A witness that claims she saw an altercation at Horn Island.
I have not spoken publicly about this before, but I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells from a boat nearby. What I saw has stayed with me, and I believe it's important information. I have provided or intend to provide my account to the appropriate investigators because Nolan's family deserves the truth. Out of respect for the ongoing investigation, I won't speculate beyond what I personally observed. While I was on the boat near the area, I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells and several other individuals. I saw what appeared to be an argument that escalated after there was a dispute involving Nolan's phone. I heard Nolan yelling for his phone to be returned. The argument continued after the group reached shore, and I observed a physical fight involving Nolan and multiple people. I also observed a young woman telling them to stop. At that point, I left the area because the situation had appeared to be getting worse. I did not remain long enough to witness what happened afterward. Everything beyond what I personally observed would be speculation, so I cannot honestly say what occurred after I left.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, a new development is rocking the investigation into the death of 18-year-old Nolan Wells. Before we get into it, now I want you to personally understand this. Before we go any further, Nolan Wells was somebody's son, and his family is still fighting for answers tonight. If you believe he deserves the truth, hit that like button right now, subscribe to this community, and turn on notifications, because every share brings more eyes to this case, and more eyes are exactly what could finally force the truth to the surface. Thank you for being supportive.
Then she said she messaged one of the individuals that she saw, hey, I just want to say I was a passenger on another boat and I saw the argument between you guys and we'll go to the police with this information. I also have video footage. My husband doesn't show much, but it shows the argument that was taken and how you guys were upset at Nolan because of the young lady.
That from Secret Service Sam on TikTok. Okay. How is this helping the investigation? I'm trying to make sense of so many people online making comments. Now, if this is true, if there is a witness who has a husband with her on the boat and they took a certain amount of video, it could change everything, especially if the video is time stamped. Straight out to veteran trial lawyer, defense attorney Philip Dubay joining me. He's joining us out of LA, formerly in the public defender's office. They try a ton of cases. Philip, first of all, has she turned it into police? She said she was. If she hasn't, I give her no credibility at all. Look, I want this to be true. Why? Because I want the video. I want to see the timestamp on the video. I want to see, was he still on Horn Island at 4:30 when his acquaintances on the Triton boat left? I want that video. And if she hasn't brought this forward to LE, law enforcement, then it means nothing to me. I mean, if I know a young man turns up dead in the water, and I know there's a controversy surrounding this, I mean, we know she knows that because she's gone online and posted it, then why not hand it over to police?
Agreed. And it should go to the grand jury for part of their investigation. But I got to tell you, if I were cross-examining her, should this even go to trial, the first question I'd ask her on that 4th of July, what she had been drinking. Before that video got activated, everybody would want to
put him up.
Drinking and smoking. You know how many people were partying?
Okay, man. Have you lost your mind? You defend criminal cases. I bet everybody you put on the stand has either been high, drunk, or worse during the altercation. Well, every witness is not a nun, a priest, or a virgin. Everybody on Horn Island was drinking, man. What are you talking about? I don't care if she took a drink. I want the video.
You want the truth, is what you want. You want the truth. And let's
and that would be the video.
Yeah. Remember, Nancy.
Okay.
It's not consistent.
Brandon Tatum is joining us. So after all that, all you have to say is, was she drinking? That's your takeaway from that? Joining me is Brandon Tatum, former police officer, Tucson, now star of The Officer Tatum on YouTube, who famously has interviewed the acquaintances who all say they...
Well, Nancy, I think that it's a big obstacle to climb here because I've never heard of this altercation whatsoever. Nobody that I've talked to have alluded that this altercation was real. And also Katie, whom I saw her text messages, she didn't even say this altercation occurred. What I will say is that if I was an investigator in this investigation, I want to hear that. I want to be able to compare that information to other things that we may have or other witness statements. But I don't think it's significant because it doesn't show if Nolan Wells was actually killed in that altercation. She's claiming that there was an altercation between him arguing with somebody else. There was a potential fight, but that doesn't get me to how did he drown? How did he get in the water? And how did he not recover and come home to his family?
For weeks, the world has been asking the same question. What really happened to Nolan Wells on Horn Island? Now, a woman has come forward, claiming she witnessed something that could change the entire timeline. According to her account, first reported on Nancy Grace's Crime Stories, she says she was on a boat near Horn Island on July 4th and witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells and several other individuals. She describes what appeared to be an argument that escalated, allegedly connected to a dispute over Nolan's phone. She says she heard him yelling for his phone to be returned. She claims the confrontation didn't end there. According to her statement, the argument continued after the group reached the shore, and she says she observed what looked like a physical altercation involving Nolan and multiple people. She also says a young woman was present, trying to get everyone to stop. At that point, by her own account, she left the area because the situation appeared to be getting worse. She has been clear that she did not stay long enough to see what happened afterward, and she has stated that anything beyond what she personally saw would only be speculation. This account, if credible, raises serious questions. Was this the last confrontation Nolan Wells was ever part of? And if so, why is the world only hearing about it now? The woman says she also reached out privately to one of the individuals she saw that day, telling them she witnessed the argument and that she intended to bring the information to police. She has claimed there may be video footage from that day, filmed by her husband, that could support her account. If that footage exists and if it carries a timestamp, legal analysts say it could become one of the most important pieces of evidence in this entire case. But not everyone is convinced. On air, defense attorney Philip Dubett questioned whether the witness had actually gone to law enforcement, saying that until she does, her claim carries little weight in his eyes. Former police officer Brandon Tatum, who has spoken extensively with others present that day, said he had never heard any mention of this alleged altercation before now, and said he would want to compare her account against other statements already given to investigators. Forensic expert Joseph Scott Morgan weighed in on the physical evidence, noting that the second autopsy reportedly did not show the kind of facial or hand injuries typically associated with a physical fight. He explained that if there had been a serious altercation, investigators would generally expect to see marks on the knuckles, forearms, or face, and according to reporting, those signs were not documented. So where does that leave us? A woman says she saw an argument turn physical. Investigators have not confirmed her account, no footage has been publicly released, and the official cause of death still has not been announced. What we do know, according to multiple reports, is that Nolan Wells was last seen on the island in the hours before his friend's boat departed, and that his body was recovered 2 days later. We also know that Jackson County's district attorney has confirmed that evidence in this case is being presented to a grand jury, a process used in Mississippi to help determine both the cause of death and whether any crime occurred. If this witness's account is accurate, it could reshape the entire timeline of Nolan's final hours. If it isn't, it could become just one more thread in a case already full of unanswered questions. Either way, investigators say every witness statement is being taken into consideration as part of the ongoing inquiry. The truth about what happened to Nolan Wells is still unfolding, and every new claim brings us one step closer or one step further from understanding what really happened on that island. We will continue following this story as new information becomes available. If you want to stay ahead of every twist in this case before anyone else, make sure you are part of the 3 True Crime Stories community, because the next update could be the one that changes everything. Hit that like button, subscribe now, and turn on notifications so you never miss a single update in the Nolan Wells case. May our Lord Jesus Christ bless you tonight, and may our lovely brother Nolan Wells rest in peace. See you next time.